How's it going, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? We're back. We're back. We're back
with another story time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So today's story time is not so easy one for me, but we're doing a story time based on the time we broke up.
Yeah, it was pretty hard. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You guys would hear more.
It was way harder for me. Yeah. But yeah, we broke up because we had to. But before we get to all of that, our relationship has always been a godsend. Like, Mikey came into my life and I was like, I didn't know I could have a man in my life like this, ever. And so that was a dream come true. He was amazing. He was caring, he was loving, he was real, he was down to earth, he was funny, loving. You are.
Alright, I'm cool.
And so, because the relationship was so awesome, because he is so awesome, you know, it made things a little difficult. In the sense that, do you have anything to share about me? Do you have anything to share about what made it hard for you to make it get to that point where we started to?
It was hard.
What made you kind of do that? You don't know what that is yet.
For me, she was the most beautiful woman in the world. I've always told her that, and I still do. I still call her beautiful here and there. She gives me one of those. Oh, thanks. But yeah, I've never met anyone like her before. If you guys know from like the previous vlogs or sit-down videos, I wrote down a prayer list for how I want my wife to be, and she was like to the T, man. It was prayers, answers like that. So it was like, wow. So it was really hard for me. So it was like, oh my gosh, she was basically my everything. And yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, at a point in our relationship, we literally start to put each other first, and which is good. It's good to be selfless, but we start to put each other first before God.
Uh-oh.
And as children of God, that's completely wrong. But as children of God, our Father is there to guide us and to keep us in check. And so he did that, and he put us in check. He made sure that we didn't put each other first by having to put a stop on us and saying, you know, you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. I'm gonna have to take you guys apart for a little while. Yeah, that was a really, really hard thing, but we'll get to how that all happened. But you want to read? Actually, I'll read a little story first. We're gonna read a little passage from the Bible.
From Genesis 22, verses 1 to 12.
And then you can read verse 17 and 18.
17 and 18, yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so it says, sometime later, God tested Abraham's faith. Abraham, God called. Yes, he replied, here I am. Take your son, your only son, yes, Isaac, whom you love so much, and go to the land of Moriah. Go and sacrifice him as a burnt offering on the mountains which I will show you. The next morning, Abraham got up early. He saddled his donkey and took 2 of his servants with him, along with his son Isaac. Then he chopped wood for a fire for a burnt offering and set out for the place God had told him about. On the 3rd day of their journey, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. Stay here with the donkey, Abraham told the servants. The boy and I will travel a little farther, and we will worship there, and then we will come right back. So Abraham placed the wood for the burnt offering on Isaac's shoulders, while he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the 2 of them walked on together, Isaac turned to Abraham and said, Father. Yes, my son, Abraham replied. We have the fire and the wood, the boy said, but where is the sheep for the burnt offering? God will provide a sheep for the burnt offering, my son, Abraham answered, and they both walked on together. When they arrived at the place where God had told him to go, Abraham built an altar and arranged the wood on it. Then he tied his son Isaac and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. And Abraham picked up the knife to kill his son as a sacrifice. And at that moment, the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven, Abraham, Abraham. Yes, Abraham replied. Here I am. Don't lay a hand on the boy, the angel said. Do not hurt him in any way, for now I know that you truly fear God. You have not withheld from me even your own son, your only son. Verse 17, 18.
Verse 17 reads thus. It says, I will certainly bless you. I will multiply your descendants beyond number, like the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will conquer the cities of their enemies, and through your descendants, all the nations of the earth will be blessed, all because you have obeyed me. Boom.
So to just sum up that story really quickly, God told Abraham to sacrifice his son, to kill his only son he had. And Abraham, with no questions asked, he did it. He brought up his son, went ahead to go and kill his son. And that was like the craziest thing ever. He did that. And so right in that moment, an angel from the Lord...
That was his only son too. After waiting for so many years.
Yeah.
So many years. Can you imagine?
Yeah. And so finally he has a son, and God's like, kill your son. And so he does it. And God's like, wow, he's so faithful to me. So, you're blocking the light, babe.
Sorry.
God's like, you're so faithful to me. He's like, stop, don't bother even killing him anymore. And what happened? It says, verse 17 and 18, he ended up blessing him above and beyond because of his faithfulness. And so because he stepped out in that faith and he did what the Lord said, even though it seemed kind of hard and impossible to do, he did it anyways, and he was blessed for it, and he still got to keep his son. Just remember that story, okay? It's important in our breakup story. So we just realized, I'm going back, we both had actually journaled this whole process, and that is so funny because I journaled momentous things in my life, but I had no clue that Mikey was journaling. Like, that was not even his thing. Yep. So when we actually got back together, obviously you know we're back together because we're married, but we're gonna save how we got back together for another video. But when we got back together, we started he showed me his notes. Sorry. And I was like, what? You took notes?
I did.
But yeah, so we just realized in our notes that the day this all went down was Easter Sunday. So anyway, so like we said, you know, things in our relationship were going so good, but God had to put a halt in it. And so because we were putting God not first, he was trying to help us out, but we weren't getting the message. Things in our relationship were going so stupidly, crazily wrong for no reason.
Yeah.
And that was God. Like, we would argue over the most simplest things, like over nothing, and it would evolve into something huge. And like, I feel like, what the heck? Like, why is this happening? But it was, now we know, like, God was trying to give us a wake-up call and be like, you guys are putting God, you're not putting me first. You guys need to separate. And he was trying to separate us, but we weren't getting the message. So we were trying to take things into our own hands. Yeah. And if anything, we weren't even turning to God in that moment because we were like, why is this happening? Like, God said that we're meant for each other. Now we're arguing all the time over nothing. And it was just crazy.
We were trying to solve things with our own understanding, basically. And
don't even do it.
Yeah, don't.
Don't. It turns out worse.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, our relationship was getting messy. And there was one time where God really tried. We got into a huge argument. Like, I've never gotten into an argument like that in my life. It was next level. You know, doors were slammed. Things were punched. And not each other. No. Like trees and stuff. We were outside.
Punching trees.
But yeah, so things like that happened, and in that moment, I was like, this is not a relationship from the Lord, blah, 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 blah. I was so confused and whatever. And I swore I was going to break up with him. I even went to my pastor and I'm like, no, I can't be in this relationship. I was engaged. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. What's the point of me marrying this man if this is going to be like this? Blah, 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 blah. Me trying to take things into my own hands again. Anyways, I loved him so dearly. And he truly is my God sent of a husband. So God was like, no, you're not supposed to, you know. But yeah,
yeah,
so.
And people were telling us stuff like random stuff that comes from their own understanding, like, oh, you shouldn't be with him. No,
yeah,
no, he's not for you. Oh, she's not for you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, just leave her alone, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not the one for you. Just all these distractions, you know. But then when I keep hearing this, I'm like, wait, no. I'd always hear that voice in the back of my head. Just hold on. Just be still. Just chill. I know what I'm doing. And so instead of me fixing my eyes on the situation and trying to fix it, I just fixed my eyes on the Lord. And, you know, I just started reading, started praying. I'm like, okay, Lord. And so then I went to a place of solitude and then, yeah.
But yeah, so we had our time of solitude. We did that. We did all that we thought we needed to do, and that everything was just good now. You know, we had our big argument. We stopped talking to each other for 2-3 days. We literally went into the mountains separately. Like, I went to a place in Squamish, which is like trees. He went to another place in Squamish, and we literally just sought the Lord for those 2-3 days.
Yeah.
And we came back, and everything was good. But it wasn't. God didn't do the work that he needed to do, but we thought that was good enough. And so Sunday had come around, and we had argued the night before, and we had actually had a concert at church the night before, and we didn't really talk to each other much.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so we had actually had a concert the night before, and we didn't even really talk to each other much, but we had planned to go out on a date Sunday after church. So we went to church Sunday. We went to church, but we didn't sit together. And so this is when the Lord really just shook us up.
Shook us up.
You want to share your side?
Yeah, I want to share my side first. So this never happened to me before. Like, I just had like this strong feeling that something big was gonna happen. Like, as soon as I was entering church, I kid you not, the moment the worship song started playing, the first worship song, and it was like, it really just touched me, and I started crying out of nowhere. And I'm like, what is happening right now? I never felt like that ever in my life. Like, I don't know, the Lord just spoke to me through a worship song, you know, and I was just like, wow, Lord, what are you trying to tell me? But at the end, I was like, okay, you know what? Let your will be done. Let your will be done. Let your will be done. And then so I was crying and crying and crying. And I remember him saying, you know what? Just fix your eyes on me for now. Fix your eyes on me for now, and only me. That's it. And I remember prior to the Sunday, like just a week before that Sunday, actually, the Lord has been speaking to me through prayer meetings, through the Bible, through devotions. He basically said to me, you know, if anything or anyone is getting in the way with your relationship, you know, with me, leave him alone. Like take him out. Take him out. Because I want your full attention, Mikey. He's basically saying, you know, Mikey, I want you. I want only you. I want you. Yeah, so he really just, you know, throughout, like, I'm not even kidding you. I'm talking about like Tuesday to Saturday, you know, just crying my eyes out. And yeah. So yeah, that's what happened.
So the Lord had pretty much told him, like, I was getting in the way. I was becoming an idol for him. Yeah. I was before God. So he had pretty much told him, you know, get rid of me. And so keep in mind, we weren't sitting next to each other. Sunday, for me, this is my side. Sunday, I went and I was in church and I was singing, I was praising, blah, blah, blah. And this is before the sermon. So I hadn't even heard the message yet. And I was, you know, and I was already at this state. Literally, I lost complete control over my whole body. And this has never happened to me before. And like my legs just gave. I dropped. And literally, Abraham and Isaac, that's the story that first popped into my head. And God said, you need to sacrifice Mikey. You need to give him up to me. He is not yours. He is mine. And you need to give him to me. Yes. You guys need to just end this and just focus on me, because you guys are putting each other before me. And I was bawling. I sit in the front row at church. I sit with the kids. And I sit in the front row. And to the right of me, I had my mom. And to the left of me, it was a lady who doesn't normally sit there, but she was so comforting, and so was my mom. But I don't think they knew what was actually happening. I feel like they just thought, you know, maybe the Holy Spirit came upon me, which the Holy Spirit did, but I was more crying over the devastation that, oh my goodness, I have to sacrifice Mikey. Because though things were going crazy in our relationship, he was my best friend. We saw each other every single day, and that's extreme. It was extreme. It was unnecessary, but we saw each other every day. Yeah. And so we did start to, I was putting him before God, and I understand why I had to do what I had to do. But in that moment, hearing that, I was just bawling and weeping. And so, yeah, we had made each other an idol, and God was like, this has to stop. So church finishes, and we're supposed to go on our date. Oh my gosh, how awkward is this? Did we take the same car?
No, I didn't.
We didn't drive together? Mm-hmm. Oh no, because I remember driving home separately after. Did we? No, because you would have driven to church in your own car.
Yeah, anyway. I did. So, and then I had to go pick up the truck afterwards. And I left my car there, yeah. So anyways, we had our date planned still for church after church, and so we went and we did it. But in my heart, I knew that, okay, I'm going to meet up with Mikey right now, and I'm going to have to tell him. And I didn't want to, but I knew I had to. My heart's beating fast right now. So we met up. We went to Memphis, near my mom's place, which is where I was living at the time. Mm-hmm. And we sat down awkwardly together because he had that message from the Lord, and I had my message from the Lord, and we ordered our food very awkwardly. Yeah. Okay. So I remember now. So before I was about to announce to her that, you know, I'm going to break up with you, I had told her to put the story with Abraham and Isaac.
Oh, wait, pause.
Yeah.
And so when he told me that,
it was so right.
I had a smile on my face.
Oh, man.
Because I knew that what I had felt, that had confirmed that what I had felt in church was from the Lord. But I knew that was what was going to come after he said that. And I was so scared. I was happy. I had a smile on my face because I was like, okay, God, I see you. But I was like, no, he's going to do it.
Yes. And mind you, we weren't talking at this time.
We had not talked.
And God had just put that passage with Abraham and Isaac before I was about to break up with Kiah. So it was definitely from the Lord. So I was like,
my heart, I get feelings all over again though.
Yeah, and so that happened. So I was like, yeah, so you know what, I got it. Just like the story with Abraham and Isaac, I just, you know, I felt like you were the idol of my life, and I just had to, you know, give you to the Lord, you know, kind of thing. And so, yeah, and then I had broken up with her, but then,
what happened?
Then what? You're like, I kind of knew that was going to
happen. I knew it was going to happen the moment I heard Abraham and Isaac, because that is what the Lord prompted in my head the moment I dropped. He was like, the same way Abraham had to offer up Isaac, the same way you have to offer up Mikey. Okay, so we're going to have to leave you guys there. Yeah. That's how the breakup came and happened. Mm-hmm. But we'll save it for another video on what we went through throughout the breakup, how the breakup was, how long we broke up for, what we did during that time of our breakup. Mm-hmm. So yeah, stay tuned for part 2. Número 2. My heart!